medical. If you're a guy who carries a gun everywhere and carries a knife everywhere, and you go out and you train in your self-defense, you do your jiu-jitsu and your Muay Thai and your Krav Maga, your boxing, whatever it is that you do, that's great, and that's several pieces of the pie when we're talking about self-protection, but you're missing a component. And one of the things that you're missing is the ability to have some medical knowledge. So if you're out and about and an active shooter situation happens, you want to make sure that you have some type of medical capabilities, and you want to have the knowledge and the skills to go with those capabilities. Specifically, a couple things you can carry that are real easy. I carry a tourniquet. This is a soft T wide. I've just kind of flat folded it so that it's real thin and streamlined, and I can throw it in a pocket and take it everywhere that I go. If I'm shot or I'm cut, bleeding in any extremity, arms or legs, this can be utilized to stop the bleeding and keep me alive until I'm able to get to additional medical help. Tourniquets are cheap, 30 bucks, and they're very easy to use. It doesn't take a whole lot of training. You're going to put it as high as you can, as tight as you can on the extremity, and you're going to go until there's no distal pulse, so you've shut down the blood flow. Something like this, which years ago these were a big no-no, and it was all a bunch of nonsense really because of some bad information. These have kept a lot of troops alive overseas. They've saved law enforcement personnel here stateside. There was an incident in Philly where a Philadelphia police officer used one to save his own life not too long ago. And again, it's a $30 piece of equipment. It takes you 5 minutes to learn how to utilize it, and it could save your life, or it could save the life of a family member. So I carry this in my pocket, on my body, everywhere that I go, and in my vehicle I have an additional medical kit, or 2 or 3, depending on what vehicle or where we're going, that has some additional stuff as well, more tourniquets and other stuff. The other thing you can throw in your pocket that's real simple is some quick clot combat gauze. Again, this is just a very slimline pack that is even thinner than a wallet, and I throw this in my pocket and it takes nothing. Okay, quick clot combat gauze is a hemostatic agent, so it aids in blood clotting. So again, if you're shot somewhere other than an extremity, or even some cases in an extremity, you can pack the wound with the quick clot combat gauze, and that will aid in clotting so that you don't bleed out. A couple little things. Again, not super expensive, not a big deal, doesn't require a whole lot of training to be able to become proficient in their use, but they can make the difference between whether or not you survive that. If you're flying, if you're in an airport, like the situation that just happened recently, these are things that are not prohibited items, so you can carry these anywhere. I've flown with these, even areas that are quote-unquote non-permissive environments. You go to a ball game and they pat you down, and you can't have a firearm. No one's going to prevent you from bringing a tourniquet or some gauze in there. So just something to think about. Again, when you're out and about, unfortunately, the world that we live in now, we have to be concerned with active shooters and active killers and things of that nature. So a little bit of forward thinking. Okay, remember, federal government model is run, hide, fight. Our model is escape, barricade, fight. Just different terminology. Escape is get out of there. Okay, throw a chair through a window, find an exit, make an exit, whatever you need to do to get as far away from the problem as you can, as quickly as you can. If that's not feasible for whatever reason, we want you to barricade. Get into a room where you can secure the door. If it opens inward, chalk it, stack stuff behind it, wedge it, hard point that stuff to the other side of the room so they can't force the door open. If it opens outwards, we're looking at tying it off with a belt or shoelaces or whatever the case may be. But we're trying to secure the door, so we're buying ourselves some time. We're taking accountability of everybody that's in the room and giving them responsibility if that shooter breaks through. Again, we're attacking the attacker at that point. If we've got things in that room we can use as improvised weapons, be it pens or fire extinguishers or chairs or other impact weapons, that's what we're going to do. So escape, barricade, and then obviously fight. Remember, that barricade's a temporary solution, so it might buy you some time. Hopefully it'll make you a little bit of a harder target. Maybe the shooter will bypass that door and go on to the next one, but at the same time, it's a temporary thing. So when you're in that room, now's not the time to feel sorry for yourself. Get everybody together, get everybody on point, start thinking about who's going to do what, start trying to call for additional resources, call for help, and also positioning your personnel appropriately so that when that shooter comes through the door, you're ready to attack the attacker. If you can avoid going places that you don't have to go that are soft targets, again, malls, stadiums, anything with relatively little security, but has a high value to a potential terrorist or a potential active shooter. So a lot of people, a little bit of security, that's a soft target. If we can avoid those places, avoid those places. If you have to go there, be vigilant, keep your head on a swivel, pay attention to what's going on around you. If you're able to legally be armed, be armed, if provided that you're trained appropriately for that, of course. And also consider carrying some medical equipment as well. Okay, tourniquet and some combat gauze go a long way. Throw in your pocket. Doesn't cost a lot, doesn't take a lot to learn how to do it. But yeah, that's something that you should definitely consider. So if you want to learn more, if you're interested in this type of stuff, again, we're running the Krav Maga self-defense program at the Renzo Gracie Academy in Hatfield, Pennsylvania. It's right on 309 next to Walmart. You can't miss it. It's a 10,000 square foot facility. Check them out on Facebook. There's also a pretty good video on YouTube of the facility itself, showing you exactly what it looks like inside. We've got a full ring, full cage. The whole place is matted wall to wall. Some specifically for jiu-jitsu, some for everything else, boxing, kickboxing, so on and so forth. Heavy bags, we've got it all there. The Krav Maga classes, again, are Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Monday and Wednesday are 5:45 to 6:45. Fridays are 6 to 7. And first class is always free. So if you're interested, you want to come check it out, come check it out. What you're learning there when we talk about Krav Maga is practical self-defense. So it's some physical skills. We're learning how to strike. We're learning how to grapple. We're learning how to defend against weapons and multiple attackers. But we'll also talk about stuff like we just talked about here, some preparedness stuff, some general awareness, active shooter, all these different types of things that unfortunately are becoming more of a necessity in the world that we live in. If you have any questions, feel free to message me. If you are watching this video on a replay and you haven't already, please like and share Scholl Security Group and my public profile, Adam Scholl. And again, if you have any questions, go ahead and message me, or feel free to come into the academy, the Renzo Gracie Academy in Hatfield. Thanks.